we have in the first four sutras, what we have understood, what is meditative state and non-meditative state. Or you can simply say what is yoga and what is not yoga. Very clearly, when the mind is knowing, acting, thinking in the state of meditation, that is what Patanjali says it is yoga. And as long as the mind is wandering everywhere, then it is a non-yogic state. You can say it's a non-meditative state. And then couple of the verses. In the next 8 verses, we understood that what is the cause of, here comes Leslie. So we understood what is the cause of suffering in our life, in our day-to-day life, envy, jealousy, hatred, pain, pleasure, with our own near and the dear ones. We don't have time to fight, to a cashier in the Walmart. We fight with our own. Either we fight with near and dear ones, mentally, I would say, or we fight with our own self. And Patanjali says the cause is the mind. That is what we have understood. If you remember, we understood 5 subjective states of the mind, 5 objective states of the mind. Huh? You may remember. If you don't remember, you have those audios, so you can take it. And then we came to the topic, what exactly is the practice? What it means by practice according to Patanjali. Huh? I think you remember, I think Stephanie, no, Stephen, David, Terry has been attending regularly. So you understand what exactly is the practice. So the practice has 2 elements, the paying attention or taking your mind to the 4th state. That is one part, and the dispassion. So that is what I say, according to Patanjali. Regular practice with wisdom. Huh? I believe that you remember. So here comes our friend Lara. So you see that? So in the first 4 sutra, what did we understand? What is a yogic state and what is a non-yogic state? You see that? It's make a difference between a state and a position of the body. You're doing a headstand pose. Is that yoga? You have to ask yourself, according to Patanjali. So Patanjali says yogic state, non-yogic state. So yogic state reveals peace, happiness, love, wisdom. When? 24/7. Where? In all conditions. With whom? With everyone. And in the next sutras, couple of 8 or 9 sutras, we understood what exactly, what is the cause of suffering? It is the mind. So if you give a direction to the mind, how? Practice begins. So the practice, as we use the word in English, is totally different from our conventional understanding of the practice. It engages your mind. What kind of a mind? We all have mind. So that mind which is 100% available to you. First, you have to prepare yourself. That is your mind 100% available. No, I'm going to start now, so don't worry. Sam, yes. So when the mind is 100% available, then we know where to direct this mind and supported by dispassion. So then we understood in the 2 sutras What exactly are the meditative states? Do you remember? In the primary stage of meditation, we have four stages. And the final stage of meditation, we have one: asampragyat samadhi and sampragyat samadhi. And for a couple of weeks, we understood what it means by being a seeker. If you are not a seeker, you will not succeed. No, no, I'm listening to you. I heard you. I can repeat it. No, it will not work. Now, all the, when we were babies, our parents taught us and we used to repeat it. So that repetition is habitual. It's an information gathering system. It's not revealing the knowledge. You see the difference? So we understood how to become a seeker. So last week we understood that seeker who has a faith in God. Now we are going to be very clear about what exactly is the God in the next five sutras. So today will have an introduction of these five sutras, and then we will go slowly. So are you talking of religion, cult, dogma, belief? No. Yoga has nothing to do with religion, cult, dogma, belief. But they definitely uses the word God. So here the word God is used as Ishwar. So we'll find out what exactly he means by Ishwar. That is one word. And Purusha. That is the second word. First understand Purusha. Pur. Pur. You see the Pur is the first syllable and Sha is the second syllable. So we have many cities whose suffix is Pur. Kanpur, Muzaffarpur. So the word Purusha means the one who lays deep within the heart. And who lays deep within the heart? My real self. What is real self? It is, It is absolute consciousness, existence, bliss. So Purusha. So the first sutra, Patanjali explains Klesh Karma Vipak Ashaya Para Mrishtaha. Para Mrishtaha Purush Vishesh Ishwara. So what he says, the one who dwells deep inside my heart, not affected by the time and the space and the relations, is a spatial Purusha. And that spatial Purusha is Ishwar God. So we will also understand the meaning of the Ishwar. So that is the first sutra. And then the second sutra pertaining to that, Tatra Niratishayam Sarvagya Bijam. What does that means? That he is of the nature of knowledge, all pervading. Third sutra, Saesh Purvesham Api Guru. He is the Guru of the past, all the predecessors, all the teachers. And the next sutra, he says, Tasya Vachaka Pranavaha. He is symbolized. You see that? He is symbolized as Om. And when with the knowledge we practice on the Om, we can reach to the highest state of meditation. So these are the five sutras, explains clearly what does it mean by the Ishwar or the God in the journey of yoga. So let us see first sutra. Klesh karma vipak आशये परामृष्टः पुरुष विशेष ईश्वरः. ईश्वरः. First, understand the word Ishwar. Every Sanskrit word has some root, and once we understand the root of it, you will find it is so easy to go behind and understand that. What is that? Ishwar. 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 So what is that meaning of the Ishwar? So first thing, the root Ish means capable, owner, and Var means best and excellent. Now find out the meaning of the God as used by our master Patanjali. What that means now? Ish, capable, and Var, best, highest. What it means. Find out. The root word Ishwar comes from Ish, meaning capable of, owner, ruler, chief. And the second part of the word is known as Vara, means depending on the context. It is best, it is excellent, it is beautiful. So means what? It is owner of the best. It is owner of the highest. It is owner of the greatest. Means what? Permanent peace, one consciousness, love deep inside. That is the best and the highest. So what is the result of meditation? That is the result of meditation. What we discover? We discover our real self. What is the real self? Is of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. So what is that Ishwar? Where it is lying? You see, in contrast to the religion, in all the religions, we have one or other kind of heaven and hell. If you don't worship God, you are bound to go to hell. There is no way. So because the God is watching you, you are not worshipping him, so you are bound to go to hell. In one or the other way. Cult, dogma, belief, etc., etc. But here what we are saying, what is the best, highest, and the greatest that is lying, located deep within my heart, behind the body and the mind complex, is known as Ishwar. Are you getting it? You do not depend on anyone outside to bring an end to the suffering. Yoga means working on your body, on your mind, on your thought, on your attitude, on your behavior, and ultimately you transcend that body, mind complex, and all the thoughts. Ultimately, you discover your real nature, and one master declares, he says, Ishvara, Aham, means that God which dwells deep within me is I am. It is my real self. So people don't start, making a statement from today to your honey, you see, I am God. Don't do that until you reach to that state. Never say I am a goddess for you. You see that? You don't listen to me, I will send you to hell. So that is not, you have to remove that misconception. Understand? So first thing that we have understood the exact meaning of the Ishwar Purusha. Now he says, now you see that what we have done until now is where we are heading to. So he says, Klesh karma vipak. Klesha means affliction, sorrow, suffering. So it means what he is saying, that real self, that special Purusha, that Ishwar which is dwelling in deep inside my heart all the time, 24 by 7, is beyond all the suffering, all the five suffering. What are the five suffering? Avidya, ignorance, ego, avidya, asmita. Asmita means ego, attachment and detachment, and jealousy, abhinivesha. Then second part he says, karma vipak. Karma vipak means fruits of an action. The mind is not always thinking. Why we are running in the world? Ask yourself, we are seeking a fruits of an action. The mind is totally out of it. Mind is clear. I have decided to give you a lesson. Let me focus on this lesson. No ego inside, not seeking a fruits of an action. See that? You equate in your day-to-day life very silly actions, going to the restroom and giving a class. At the mental level, it is not seeking any fruits of an action. I'm giving a very rough example. You see the karma vipak. So now he's explaining that what kind of a God this is. So first attribute is that that person is beyond all the sorrow and the suffering. Are you beyond the sorrow and suffering? You are God or goddess. Karma vipak, fruits of an action. So when you do not seek the fruits of an action, can you think, and you don't have an ego of performing an action, then what happens? Can you imagine? Can you think of it? You do not accumulate impressions in the mind. The mind remains all the time like a transparent mirror. You had anxiety yesterday, but now you don't have it. You don't keep any impression. Otherwise, we go on repeating the past because of the impressions. So means the God never accumulates any impressions, by untouched by any impression of the past. Otherwise, we carry forward those impressions. I know you inserted me when 10 years ago. I still remember. You see, I have a sharp memory. And so when you say that I have a sharp memory that you inserted me 10 years ago, ego also comes. Look at it. And ego comes because you inserted me, so I have. My mind also accumulates the impression of attachment and detachment. See that I'm living in ignorance. Past is dead. Let it drop. Let it go. So he's God and goddess. You all are gods and goddesses. So even if I say something nasty, I know you will tolerate it. That is another wrong rationalization. I have to check deep within my heart. So you see the klesh karma vipaka ashaye. Ashaye means untouched. Paramristaha purusa vishesh ishwaraha. What is that? That is Purush Vishesh. Purush Vishesh, I explained you. Purush, spatial Purusha. Purush Vishesh, a spatial person. You can say a spatial person. That spatial person is God. As long as we identify ourselves with the body and the mind and the labels, we are an ordinary person because we are bound to suffer. We are attached. We enter into jealousy and hatred, sorrow and suffering. So when we become a spatial, it is already there deep inside my heart. What is the journey of meditation? What we have been doing until now? We are discovering that. We are moving the mind within. We are discovering that spatial Purusa that is deep seated in my heart. Don't take the heart as a physical organ. At the center of the heart. Heart means it is the seat of consciousness in yoga. Heart, it is not a physical heart. So it is within me, and that is why self discovery is the goal of meditation. That is the first sutra. Klesh karma vipaka ashaye paramrishtah purush vishesh ishvara. Now experience, are you living into that state which is untouched by any impression in the mind? Memory is there. Memory is there. If the memory is not there, then I cannot recognize who is Lara, who is Brandy, who is Javid and Jay. The memory is there, but untouched by any past impressions. What is required? I should know your name so that I can make a query, I can ask you to share your experiences, that is all. But when my mind is totally untouched, that mind goes directly and settles into the real self. Settling into the real self, what Patanjali says in the third sutra, when you settle in yourself, you are experiencing there is a constant awareness of that real self in permanent peace and happiness, is what Patanjali is saying, God. So you have to be very clear that when we use the word God, we are not referring to what we say, generator, operator, and destroyer. We are not talking of. We are not talking of a God who lives in heaven. Why, the heaven is deep within us. We are deluded by ignorance. Once you remove that ignorance, you are already there. And then the one master declares, he says, no, why should I shy? He says, there is a Adi Shankara says, Ishwaraha aham. He says, that God. Which God? Not located in the heaven, but located deep inside the heart, behind the body and the mind, is I am. You see the beauty of, if you don't acquire the knowledge, we should have a clarity, 100% clarity. And then what is that Ishwar? Then Ish, chief, owner, and Vara means capable. What it is, Kope? It is the owner of permanent peace and happiness, love and wisdom. Owner. And where it is located? Deep inside the heart. What is its characteristics? It is beyond all the 5 kinds of sorrow and the suffering. That is the ultimate cause of all the suffering. Ignorance, ego, attachment and detachment, and abhinivesh. You can say jealousy, or when the mind is totally sitting in the body, it completely absorbs into the body and claims I am the body. That is also known as abhinivesh. So you see that. Now, during the day, just even sit for 5 minutes. Do nothing. Ask yourself, am I beyond all the 5 sorrows and suffering? You will find that you are already there, but it is not continuous. Why it is not continuous? Because the mind comes in between. What the mind brings, the past impressions. So it is not only the past impressions of anxiety, reaction, what happened in relationship, but the past impression also contains a level of ignorance. What is that ignorance? I am the body, I am the mind. So once all these do not happen in the mind, you live into that state. Then what happens? The smile remains intact. When I say smile, then people start smiling. Otherwise, they miss it. So now, can you simply, my master used to say, be happy and keep smiling. Why? The greatest qualification of a seeker is to remain cheerful all the time. Gita says. I'll refer that. So am I cheerful? No, I am very much stressed. Can you help me meditate? You will not be able to meditate. You start your journey with the stress. You might be thinking, if I have a problem, then what should I do? I know you will not ask me. So I will answer that. Let us start